Hi, I'm Luciano Ruas, a Brazilian musician from the channel Brazilian Accent Improvisation. And today we are going to talk about one more of the Brazilian accents that's called Maracatu. If you paid attention on of a Brazilian song called Mas Que Nada, that's famous by an interpretation of Sérgio Mendes out of Brazil. He says in one phrase, este samba é misto de maracatu. This samba, it's a mixture of maracatu. And I realized that a lot of people here in Brazil doesn't know what's maracatu. I'm here in São Paulo, that's a metropolis, a very large city, and people here often doesn't know maracatu, and it's a very interesting style with a strong percussive sound. And what else to say about maracatu? Maracatu, it's a processional dance that happens in Carnaval of Recife. Recife is the capital of the state of Pernambuco in the northeast part of Brazil, and also Olinda. And it's a dance with a lot of percussion players and with colorful clothes, and they have some, and it has some religious meaning. We have two main types of maracatu. That is the maracatu nação, or maracatu de baque virado. We could translate as turned. Baque virado. Baque, it's like beat, and virado, it's like turned. But this meaning of the word turn, it's has a different meaning, because we could interpret the word turn or virado like a way to make a lot of instruments play the same thing. They are dubbing the sounds. This they call virado. Yes. And we have the other maracatu. It's called maracatu of maracatu de baque solto. And this maracatu is different and happens in the rural areas far from the capital, Recife. All right. Other thing interesting to say is the maracatu has an important role in the society of Pernambuco. They it's not so it's doing music, but they help each other. They you have two kinds of maracatu nation. That is this traditional. It has some. It joins the religion, the Afro-Brazilian religion, and you have groups, percussive maracatu groups. That are people that plays maracatu because they like. They don't have any relationship with the religion. All right. The first nation of maracatu, I think it's the Elefante Coroado, started on 1863. It's so old, and its main instruments, the main instruments of maracatu. I'm gonna show you a little photo of it. We have the caixa de guerra. It's translating, it's a snare drum, war snare drum. You have another that seems like the caixa also, that is the tarol. It's a little and it's thinner and it's more higher. You have the gongue, that's it's like a cowbell. You have the mineiro. Mineiro is like a shaker, or here in Brazil we call ganzá. It's very do this effect. And we have the alfaias. Alfaia, it's a bass drum, very large, and it does the great sound of maracatu, because you can hear maracatu kilometers far when they are playing. The minimum numbers of alfaias is 12, and the sound is very high. Some maracatus use also the atabaque, it's a percussion, hand percussion, and you have the mestre de apito, that is the master of maracatu, and the apito is the whistle. He used to help the song to show the other integrants of the group that the sound is starting, that's gonna have some changes or some feels. I'm gonna telling about the harmonies also of maracatu. It's often maracatu, it's the maracatu of baque virado, that is the most famous, that happens in the capital of Pernambuco. Doesn't have instruments playing, just percussion. Okay, percussion are instruments, I'm sorry, but melodical and harmonic instruments. They are played just for percussion and voice, and but you can realize the harmonies, because the melodies are so simple, are inside. You can really, with an instrument, search for, and they often if you search for these chords when you are in major tone, you're gonna find just two chords. The most cases you have the first grade and the fifth grade, dominant grade. Okay. If you are in minor, we have some parts that you're gonna have the first minor grade, and after that the dominant grade, and sometimes they have a second part that makes the harmony near autumn leaves. But they are very simple melodies. The lyrics are about the religion Candomblé, the institution of the kings of Congo, the precedence of African slaves, and some figures, important figures that fought against the slavery in Brazil. In terms of structure, the songs contain this master sings some simple melody, and the choir repeat the melody for him, and the most of maracatus has just two parts of simple phrase. I'm gonna show you an example of melody in maracatu that I transcribed of the Nação Estrela Brilhante. I'm gonna try to imitate the baque, that's the beat. Okay, this is maracatu. You have, for example, the gongue. That does this rhythm. Gongue, like I said, is is like a cowbell, and it has one interesting variation that is very typical. You often see Brazilian musicians using this variation of the gongue in different styles, but it comes from maracatu. And this sound made by the alfaias is called baque, or it's called toque. And you have some different variations with different names of these toques of maracatu. I'm gonna show you in another opportunity. Often the maracatu has a structure that it's presented. The master does a long whistle. Stay in silence, and after that he started to sing, and the choir responds. After that, the snare drum starts to play, and the snare drums, we can say that this name maracatu is like an onomatopoeia, and I think the snare drums that we call caixas does the sound that we hear like maracatu. That's maracatu. Maracatu, and there are different opinions about the where did this name came from. Some people just say that's the onomatopoeia, but some people says that it was a way that in the moment that maracatu was happening, the church, the Catholic Church, was having problems with this Afro religion, and then they the police didn't like to see people playing this kind of music in the streets, and when they were arriving, some people did some sound to show the others, like a signal to show the others that the police was coming and they had to stop playing. And this was called Maracatu. And you have different stories saying different things about this, but I think it's interesting to know this, to use this name to remind the sound, to remember the sound of Maracatu. All right. If in terms of scales, we can say that it uses often the major scales and sometimes the mixolydian mode to do its melodies when you are in minor, in major melodies, and the last part, and I think it's the important part, that we use improvise, and when you want to be inside the language, you can create improvise using the sounds of the percussion and the divisions of the melody, and the divisions are often happening in 80 notes. You have to develop syncopations, and you have also pointed 80 notes with 60 notes. This melody, it's a good example of this. It has all the common divisions of melody we use to improvise in Maracatu. Look, the syncopation, the pointed 80 note with 16 and 80 notes again. And second part, it's syncopations with 80 notes. I'm sorry. Then this is the main material you use to improvise, and you can use the percussion, some fuzz that are used often in another instruments that play maracatu. All right. So this was a brief introduction about maracatu. If you want to know more about it, write in the comments if you have questions. I'm gonna research and prepare more of this material for you. I hope you like this live, and every day I'm here telling about the Brazilian accent in improvisation and all subjects around this interesting theme. Alright, thanks for watching. Obrigado. Tchau, bye bye.